no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, Freemers, we are back with another Free Realm Sunrise update. Dude, I can't believe I'm actually going to be reading a new post. I don't know if it's from Mayhem, but it's someone speaking for Mayhem because, you know, Mayhem has to focus on the game and all that stuff. But, dude, the fact that we have another update is kind of crazy. It's actually wild. We're going to talk about that more, but I want to get into the update that, because I saw someone, like, it was weird. I saw someone talking in my Discord. I'm like someone who doesn't normally talk that often. And then I saw there was FRS news, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Insane. So we're going to read this update, and I'm going to talk about a few things that I think need to be talked about, especially after this update. So let's just get into it, man. We're not going to waste any time. Let's go. Let's do it, man. Look at this. Okay, let's discuss this. So, brief update. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to share a quick little update since a lot of the work going into Free Realm Sunrise right now is a lot of back-end stuff. So, what does that mean, back-end stuff? Well, when you think about back-end stuff, you don't think about the entire game. You think about server-side stuff. So, essentially, I think they're close to pushing the game out. I don't know, but I think when you think about back-end stuff, it's like stuff that makes the game launch or makes the game function properly. That's what I think. When I think about back-end stuff, I think about someone talking about like a server, like they're talking about like a server they're working on. I don't know. That's what I think. I think back-end, like it's stuff that helps the game launch. It helps the game run. I really do think we are close to a potential launch. I don't know, so don't take my word for it. When I read over this, my mind went, oh, okay, all right. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're close. I wouldn't say the game is going to launch this year. Don't even think that. If you think this game is launching this year, you're mistaken, because we don't know that. We don't know how close. We're not going to get a release date. Like, that's just not going to happen. But I do think next year is the launch year for Free Realm Sunrise. I do believe that. If I'm wrong, oh well. You know, there's always the next year. We're holding on for dear life, man. We're huffing so much copium that we can't take anymore. But you know, I'm hopeful that this game is actually going to launch, and it would be crazy. So now I want to read the other part of it, which is Mayhem recently conducted a stress test on a 2009 build of the server. So the server that, so apparently, so when we were asking questions about whether or not a server needed, like whether or not we need to help out with cost for a server, Mayhem said himself, or someone spoke for Mayhem saying they would figure it out. And clearly they have. So they conducted a stress test on a 2009 build of the server via bot loading. So basically loading in a bunch of just non-playable characters. And found that one area alone could handle around 1,500 players. Whereas in alpha, it could only handle about 50 players in one area. So if you think about that, 1,500 players in one area. So like just real quick, I'm going to look at the Sacred Grove map, if you guys don't mind, on my other monitor. So there's about, if you were counting Sunstone Valley, there's about 9 areas in the game. So you do the math on that, and it's like, that's around like, for each area in the game, it's, well, if we're not just counting those areas, it's close to 15K, I think, or over that number. So Free Realms in itself could probably handle like around 20K, because because there's a bunch of areas in Free Realms that are not just like Black Spore, Snow Hill, Seaside. There's a lot of areas in the game that people can just hang out in. it could probably handle more people. But that's a crazy improvement, is that now that he's testing again, one area alone can handle around 1,500 players, whereas in alpha it can only handle about 50 players in one area. And when you think about it, Free Realms, like, you wouldn't see 1,500 players in one area, right? But I don't know, man. I think we're gonna see a launch soon, based on this data alone. Like, we could see something. I don't know. If we see that this year, that would be crazy. But I really think 2025, because we don't know how much. We'll talk about it, but we don't know how much is done. We don't. We just don't. There's no information on that. But that's cool, man. So I think from 50 to 1,500, the game's come a long way in terms of bringing it back. But yeah, and then they said that's a very significant improvement. This will really help us determine how much player traffic servers can manage moving forward. The fact that they're testing servers means that we could see a launch soon. I don't know. But anywho, I want to bring up the pictures that the person provided for Mayhem's testing. So there was 2 tests. The file types for the imagery shows the name for the images say test 1 and test 2. So here's something I want to just point out to you Freemers who doubt that, because there's been people who have doubted that anything was real, like screenshot wise, video wise. If you doubt that this is fake, you need to just like take it down a notch, because this is real. This is happening. The fact that you can see like all the numbers for like 1153, you can see all the numbers of all the tests, all the bots, like, that's crazy. The fact that you can see all the names, test FRS, you can see that in the image types they say test 1, test 2. I don't know how much proof you want, man, but like I do think looking at these images, because there's another one, this is proof that the game is probably going to launch soon. It's getting, I feel like it's getting close. Then there's this image, and this is all of them running around, and I don't, is this all, this must be all 1,500, because that's crazy. I mean, just seeing them all run around is wild. Look at that. It's like a herd. Oh my god. But dude, I really want to see FRS come out. It's the only one I'm gonna play. Even if open source Realms, if OSFR actually becomes a thing, it's all it's going to be is a walking simulator with multiplayer features. So it's not going to be much. Free Realms Sunrise is going to be the legit thing, and that's what I want to play. So, with that said, there's a lot we need to talk about regarding all this stuff. First things first, what does this update from Mayhem tell us? So, to me, it tells us that launch is close. It tells us, like, we could assume that server side, that's what they're working on. I think that the website work is probably done. Or if it isn't, it only has a little bit more to go. But since they're focusing on server stuff and they're not talking about anything with the game, like, we got to see some combat gameplay because we haven't actually seen combat, you know, but I do think we're really close, you know? Like, we've already seen what the new website kind of looks like, so there's that. We've seen enough gameplay. We don't really need to see more gameplay. I don't need to see more gameplay. If you need to see like anything else, I would like to see, like, maybe flash games working or certain mini games working. There's stuff I would like to see working, but yeah, you know, the fact that we're seeing server work means we're closer than we think. But I don't think it'll be this year. I think it'll be next year, if anything. If anything. One other thing I want to bring up is updates are getting more consistent this year, a bit more. Nothing crazy, but like, if we look at like if we look at this year for like updates, not like last year, because last year, what was last year like? I want to look at last year because, let's see, 2023. Because I feel like that was a big year for FRS. Not in terms of like a launch. Don't get it twisted. So we had the Happy New Year thing from FRS. What else? We had Festival Hearts preview. It was like a housing video. What else? We had more website work announced or whatever. We literally did have website work, like, that was talked about. Just the web development stuff. What else? We had more updates to like how the website is going to function and what's going on with gameplay. Then we had another website update, and then we obviously the last thing we had was the Wilds race. So that was 2023. 2024, I wouldn't say is it's not like we have a ton of updates this year. Like, not a ton. We had one update in what else? I don't count that as a game update. So we had Mayhem talking about what was going on in his life. We had his little update because, you know, I think it's important to know like what's going on, if anything's going on. So he talked about that, and then obviously we had the Frostfang Fury thing, which was gameplay for combat, and then we have this update. So the time between these updates is pretty quick too. We have 3 months, which is a little insane. So I wouldn't expect an update every 3 months, but the fact that we've gotten another update is kind of wild. Because if we didn't see another update after Frostfang Fury, I was gonna be a little skeptical. But you know, I think things are looking a little better. Obviously, they're not as crazy as last year, but I really want to say that we're getting close to launch. I want to say that, but again, I don't know. Then, of course, could FRS be close to launch? Don't know. I really don't. I don't. Because there's so much we don't know about what's been done. And this is something I want to talk about as well, because, like, I think Mayhem or someone needs to tell us what is done. Like, is the game ready to go? Is the website done? Is server side work done? Like, these are things that need to be communicated, you know? Like, that it's kind of wild. We don't, like, what do we know about FRS's development? We don't know a whole lot. I can guess and put pieces together because we haven't seen a ton of gameplay, right? It's mainly been the website was the one thing we were like, okay, that needs to be done, right? And I'm just looking back, like, we have only had so many gameplay videos, but when you look back at it, the website is the most important thing, and we haven't heard anything about the website. Maybe they're still working on it, who knows? But now they're working on server side development, so it's like, okay, like, I want like a complete list of like what's done and what needs to be worked on. Can we just have like a checklist, or do we not have communication here? Because when it comes, like I said, allegedly all that needs to be worked on is the website. That's it. Nothing else. There needs to be nothing else that needs to be worked on. Apparently, that's what we were told. Maybe that's changed. I don't know. I would love some communication. You know, we're going to get to the last point of my TED Talk here, which is we need open communication and complete transparency going forward. Like, I want to know what is done and what needs to be worked on. Like, listen, I'm not in charge of FRS, but brother, I need to know. Like, it would be so helpful. Even if, like, you know, someone doesn't believe in the project, it would be so helpful to know what is done and what isn't done. Maybe I'm asking too much. You know, maybe I am. But, like, dude, some people assume the game is never coming out, you know, and some people think, like, the game is, like, still being worked on, like, the actual game, not the website, not the server side stuff. Some people think the game is still being worked on because no one knows what's going on. I don't know. I don't think it would be too much to ask for a list. Like, I think one thing that's been a major complaint about FRS is it's so simple to, like, put out an update. or like put up a picture or upload a video, because it is. I upload videos. It's super easy. But it's so simple, and yet somehow Mayhem and his team have a trouble of doing that, and I don't understand that at all. I really don't. Like, the communication and the transparency is just out of the water, you know? We need some, like... I really do think we need a list of what's been done and what isn't done, you know? Just to get an idea of where FRS is at, you know? I mean, if it's gonna piss people off, sure, but, like, I would like a list. Me, personally. So, that's that, man. Like I said, I think FRS is close. I do. Just, you know, if you were to base a guess off of the fact that they're not showing a lot of gameplay, means the game is pretty much ready. The other part of it is the website, which we haven't seen a lot of the website since 2023. The website could be done. The fact that we are now seeing server-side stuff makes me think they're prepping for launch. Who knows? Right? We'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best for this game. I really want to play this, considering what's going on with Palia. Palia is not in a great space. I'm hoping things get better, but again, we will see. But that's going to be the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, goodbye. Also, Freemers, real quick before we do end the video, I want to bring up something that a lot of you might not know. Since Daybreak does not own Free Realms anymore, and currently Free Realms is an unowned property. It just kind of sits in the void. No one knows what's going on with it. I wanted to bring this up because I think it's very important that you guys know this. We don't have to worry about Free Realms Sunrise, if it does launch, shutting down. We don't have to worry about that game shutting down anymore, because no one can actually do a cease and desist on the Free Realms property, because no one owns it. It's currently an unowned property, so Mayhem could launch Free Realms Sunrise. We wouldn't have to worry about it ever shutting down, which is a really cool thing. If you really think about it, we were so worried about Free Realms Sunrise shutting down due to, like, you know, if someone made money off of the project, or if Daybreak was just like, I feel like shutting the game down. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So I just wanted to put that out there, because a lot of people might not know that. We can kind of go into Free Realms Sunrise with no worries. If you think the game is going to shut down, it won't. So that's kind of a neat thing. I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of lifts a weight off our shoulders if this game actually does launch. So yeah, anyways, bye.